So hello everybody. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll start a little slow so when people are starting to trickle in, and if you guys want to stay in the practice, you can just jump right in. Meet Bella, my dog, my baby. Okay, so my goal today is to give you a nice flow that everyone can get into. Okay, we're going to start with some basic shapes and poses, and I'm going to move you into a nice easy flow. Today is about meeting ourselves through the resistance. We're going through a lot of resistance collectively as a whole, and what do we do when we are going through these things, and what does it mean? So the first thing that came into my mind is resistance means change, and it means change is about to happen or wanting to happen. So in your practice today, perhaps through the body in all the different shapes that are created and presented, you may start to experience a little bit of resistance. Okay, so if you are encountering these emotions, these sensations, I ask of you a couple of things. To do your best to stay connected, try not to check out, stay with your breath. Use your breath as a tool to carry you through, to help sustain you and to help ground you. And see if you can use these poses as little mini moments, little mini challenges to get you through, and see if you can overcome by tapping into the power of your own breath. Our breath is our life force. It is our way to connect with ourselves. Our emotion is very much tied together with our breath. So if we're able to build a mindful relationship with our breath, you'll be able to confront your simple or grand daily challenges. It's one thing for people to just say to you, hey, just breathe, calm down. It's a common thing that we are always advised when we're in the heat of a moment or if we're going through anxiety. But the trick of that technique actually working is practicing when you're not in the heat of the moment. So this is one of the reasons why yoga is so popular and why all the doctors and all the professionals are recommending, and mental health professionals, is because we need to practice the breath work, and experiencing the breath work in different shapes will give us different opportunities, different situations. It's kind of like simulating real life, okay? It's like a metaphor of real life. We have so many different situations going on and different challenges, and through the shapes of the body that we create, we're also experiencing ways to kind of flow and move through, and using the breath as a tool in our shapes to calm ourselves down. Okay, so today is about moving through the resistance. I invite you to stay connected as long as you can. I'm going to try to keep this session relatively short as possible, but enough quality perhaps that you may have a nice experience today, and something that you can take with you. And I'm going to try to do this. We'll see if this is something that I will carry on and share with you all. All right, so we're going to start with the breaths. First, take a nice seat. You can use a block. If you don't have a block, sit on a book, sit on a pillow. If you're sitting on a pillow that's on your bed, fold it in half, create some density in it so you have a nice firm grounding into the ground. Why it's nice to sit on top of something is because the idea is lifting your hips a little bit higher to give your joints a little space. If you have, difficulties sitting for a long period of time, it may mean that you have to change your seat and create some more space into the hips. And notice that the knees are descending down, and this is the ideal kind of placement you would like, rather than the knees high up. That's why our legs fall asleep when we are practicing meditation, or if you're sitting for a long period of time. So you want to prop up your seat in a way where your hips are a little bit higher than your knees. All right, so sit up nice and tall. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Bend your elbows and pull the shoulders back. Okay, so loosening up into the shoulders. Very common area where we carry a lot of stress and emotion, a lot of tightness and tension is in the shoulders. So if you don't even rotate your shoulders daily, which often people, many of us, we don't actually wake up in the morning and have a little routine. So make this part of your routine daily, anytime after you're driving, after you're seated for a long time, simply just roll the shoulders out, okay? And inhale, reach your arms straight up. Exhale, spread it out. So you want to match the range of motion with your breath. Inhale, reach up, palms press. Exhale, open up. Full breath in. Exhale, open up. And think about filling up into the rib cage. I want you to feel the expansion, okay? You want to practice training your lungs to fill up. That way your body doesn't have to work so hard to find its breath. The breath is super important. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way out. Okay? Obviously the breath is important, and why I'm explaining why it's important to learn how to expand into your ribs so the body doesn't have to work as hard at its natural state. Okay? If you create a practice stretching into your lungs, your breath is what transport your blood flow in your body, and in your blood flow is all the nutrients that you need. So if you have a longer breath intake and outtake, the body, and if you can make it feel natural in your body won't have to work as hard to bring nutrients to all the different parts in your body, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, okay? We're gonna just sit here and do a counted breath. I'm gonna guide you through it. So take a moment just to find a bit of stillness, and perhaps there are a lot of distractions around you. So just take some time to settle in and notice your natural breath pattern. And exhale all the way out. Slow inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slow release, exhale through the nose or the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe calmly and naturally. I'm hoping within those few rounds, mindful rounds of counting the breath, you can already start to feel a difference, a little bit of a calmer mind, a calmer state, and a steadier breath pattern. It only takes a few seconds to get there. You just need to create the moment for yourself. Nice. And then join your palms together or bring it into heart center. And what we're going to do now is create an intention for your practice. And this is what takes it out of the physical realm, okay? Yoga is very much the way the Westerners, us, the way we present yoga is very physical. But one way of connecting it to that spiritual realm, the heart center, is by creating an intention for your practice. So if you like, you can close the eyes or just soften the gaze and think about something that you'd like to change, manifest within the self. You can make a wish for the world, You can dedicate your practice to someone who is not able to be here with you, or perhaps someone that's not able to move in their body as comfortably as you. So it is a blessing to be able to move into our bodies. And sink it into your hearts by sealing it in with a nice big breath. And let it go. Okay. Slowly release your seat and come down into hands and knees. Now, if you don't have blocks, you may have to improvise. I do recommend you purchasing some really cheap blocks online, or just use something that has the same height and some density so it can support you. So set it aside if you have them, and then bring yourself down onto hands and knees. Stack your wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Move into your hips side to side. So you're waking up into your hips. Wiggle into the shoulders. And it doesn't have to look any particular way. We're just fidgeting, moving, saying hello to our body. And we're going to go into cat and cow. Drop your navel down, open up your shoulder heads, inhale, look up. Nice bend in the spine. It gets a nice stretch in front of the belly. Exhale, round into the spine and pull the belly in, creating space between each and every single vertebrae. Drop your navel forward, lift your chest up, and try to open up the shoulders back as you look up. Exhale, round into your spine, draw the belly in. Inhale, look up, bend the spine. Exhale, slowly round into your spine, pull and draw the belly in. One more, drop the navel down, inhale. Exhale, round into your spine and pull the belly in. Come into neutral spine and slowly tuck your toes in. Get a nice little toe stretch here. You can either stand on your knees. If you need cushion underneath your knees, you can fold your mat, or you can put a towel or a blanket underneath your knees. And you can just kind of stand up on your knees. Get a nice stretch and opening in front of the hips here. So you got to press your hips forward and lengthen your tailbone down. Tuck your back toes in and you just kind of hang out here. If you're able to take some weight, set your hips back into your heels. So opening up into the toes. This is not a fun process, especially if you wear tight shoes or you're on high heels. Just simply you're not used to bending your toes in this way. And you've heard the quote or the saying, happy feet, happy life. Yes, it's true. If your feet are happy, your feet is your foundation, it carries you through your day. Inhale, reach your arms straight up. Exhale, spread it out. Again, inhale, reach up. Just distracting your mind here. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. Slowly come back onto your hands and knees. Lift up your feet. Give your feet a little jiggle. And make some circles with your feet. So you're winding up the ankle, loosening up at the ankle. Spread your toes, squeeze your toes. Beautiful. And do a nice little drum roll, tap it out. Okay, I'm going to help you get into downward facing dog. This is not an easy pose, especially if you're a beginner. So don't worry about getting it all today. Just do your best to create the best shape possible. I want you to tuck your tuck your toes and lift your knees up to a hover. Okay, draw the belly in as you push through your hands. And build a little strengthening into the shoulders. So try not to hang into the shoulders. Push your hands to the floor and draw your rib points in and hover the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, and softly bring your knees down. Okay? Send your hips back, point your toes, and then just go into what's called a child's pose, extended arm child's pose. Softly bring your head down to the ground. And let's add here bended elbows, palms together. So walk your elbows in, drop your head down to center. This also gives a little bit of a stretch into the shoulders and the triceps. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lift your chest up, bring yourself down onto hands and knees again. Now, slowly stretch one leg back, flex the toes, dig into the ball of your foot, get a stretch into the calf muscle, shifting your body weight forward and back. Your hands, your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders. So I am going a little bit slower today, just detailing. I'm really into building and setting up foundation. I think it's super important. The shapes, the expressions of all the different shapes that are created in yoga, I mean, that's a progression over time. But building up all the details and bringing awareness into all the details is really where the awareness starts to really build up and happen. And after you kind of get it down, knowing where to place your hands and feet, it becomes a little more natural in your body. Pick up your right knee and crunch into the chest. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knee down. Lower your left knee down. Switch sides. Extend your right leg back. Flex the toes. Dig into the ball of your back foot and just shift forward and back. So super slow, mindful. This is also a nice wrist warm-up. This is also a nice stretch into your right calf muscle. Push all the way back. You can linger there for a moment. And when you're ready, press into your hands. Get your shoulders engaged. Draw the belly in. Dig into the ball of your back foot and tuck your left knee into the chest. Hold here. And just bring your gaze between your hands. Squeeze your heel in towards your butt. Squeeze your thigh in. Do the best you can. 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knee down. And take a nice child's pose. But this time, open up your knees. Your feet are together. Send your hips back towards your heels and reach your arms forward and drop your head down. And just breathe here a few more moments. Slowly walk your hands back. Come onto all fours. Set it up again. Every single time, look at your hands, spread your fingers. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Knees about hip width distance apart. Tuck your toes and take your time. Try your best to bring yourself into top of the plank. Okay? Nice firm plank here. Now, if you're in this plank here, you can always modify by bringing the knees down if you're still building strength and courage, okay? And then slowly, go ahead and just send your hips back like a hinge. You don't have to move your hands or your feet. Hinge your hips back. Try to find that L shape in the body, the V shape, and just sending your hips forward and back. Okay. So relatively, this is the distance for down dog shape. Send your hips back into a capital A. Land into your feet, spread your toes. Now, if you have a roundness in the spine, that's okay. Bend your knees and notice the belly and the thighs moving towards each other. And the hard part here is pushing through your hands, getting into the shoulders, and lifting your tailbone up. And over time, the heels will come closer to the ground, okay? But don't worry about them touching. Push to your arms, building strength here. Inhale. Exhale. Dangle your head around. Inhale. Exhale. Try to stay here. Inhale. Exhale. Capital A shape. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly lift up your heels. Bend your knees. Walk your right foot on the outside of the right hand. Walk your left foot on the outside of your left hand. And then slowly sit down into this squat. Okay? Now, if you can't stay in this squat, let's say you're hanging out on your tippy toes, your ankles are probably a little bit stiff or tight, and that's okay. You don't want to force your heels down. You can do a couple of things here. You can roll up your mat, roll up a blanket, Okay, set your heels down onto it, get nice and wide onto the mat. Gives a nice cushion underneath your heels. Okay, and you can hang out here. Bring your elbows in between your knees, palms together. Bring your forearms in line, open up your shoulders, and lengthen your spine. Try to drop your seat down. Okay, stay here, stretching into the inner groin. And you're using your elbows to push out. Now, you can also sit on a block. I'm going to face forward and hang out here. And using this pressure with your elbow pressing out into the inner knee. So you're getting a stretch into the inner groin area. And then try to join your palms together and bring your thumbs right in the center. Open up the shoulders as much as you can. Nice spread across the collarbones and drop your chin down. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Okay, and then slowly release your seat. Sit down on your bum. Extend your legs forward and just give your legs a little shake. Okay, now bend your knees here. This is called TP twist. Okay, anchor down into your sits bones. Your left arm crosses over in front of the shins here. You're just wrapping your arms in front of the shin just below the knees. I'm using my fingers to hook around the right knee crease. Right hand reaches behind you. Lengthen into your spine and turn your torso. Twist your body to the right. And inhaling through the nose. Exhaling here. Try to anchor your shoulders back and down. Try not to over twist. Find a nice center axis with your spine, and you're just humbly slowing it down, twisting into your torso. Try to sandwich your left belly side to your left thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly come back into center. Wrap your right arm in front of your shins. Left hand reaches behind you. Now use your hand. You can use block. Whatever you can get to give yourself some leverage here. Okay, push down through the floor. Use it to lengthen your spine. Then on the exhale, find your twist to the left. Inhale through the nose and exhale here. Try to anchor down into your sits bones, your ischial tuberosities, which is the bony landmarks in your bum, all the way down into the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist your torso to the left. You can turn your head all the way to the left as well. Try to level your chin. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly unravel, bring yourself back to center. Extend your legs straight down. Bend your right knee, pull it in. Place the right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Flex your left foot to engage your entire leg. Keep the leg engaged. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Left hand reaches straight up through the sky. Twist your torso to the right. Hook your upper arm on the outside of the thigh. So you're just kind of giving a high five here. Right hand reaches behind. Now, rounding in the spine is very typical. It's not a big deal. Just do your best to find space. So what you do is you push back into the upper left arm into the outer leg. You bring length into the spine and try to peel your shoulders back. And you're trying to bring your left belly side all the way around into that twist. It doesn't have to touch. You're just creating the intention. The energetic work is what matters here. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Flare your toes. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Slowly returning back to center. Extend the right leg straight down. Bend your left knee. Bring it close. Land your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Flex your feet. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Right hand reaches straight up. Twist, hook on the outer right thigh. Outer left thigh. Okay? Push back with your upper right arm. Push down with the left hand. Flare your toes and breathe. very methodically here, very consciously. Inhale through the nose. Draw the belly in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly return back into center. Extend your left leg straight down. Tabletop. So we're going to open up the front body, open up into the shoulders. Okay, building a little strength. Do the best you can. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. You need to come down and take a break, just take a break. Land your hands, bend your knees. So look at where your knee mark is. Bend your knees and place your feet there, hip width distance apart. Land your hands behind you, fingertips about 6 inches away from your hips. Turn your fingers out so there's a little bit of external rotation. That's just so we can give some space into the shoulders. Line up your hands behind you. Now before you take it up into tabletop, lower your hips all the way down to your heels. You can probably feel a stretch into your forearms and wrist. Bend the elbows a little bit to squeeze, open up into the shoulders. Push your arms straight and lift up the chest. Maybe you want to stay here, that's fine. Press down into the heels and lift your hips up as high as you can and look up towards the sky. 2 options here, chin down the center or just roll your head back. You got to figure out what works for you. Keeping your cervical spine nice and healthy, your neckline. Push to your hands, push to your feet. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Push to your hands, lift your hips up. 1 more breath here, full breath in. And slowly lower your hips down. Okay. I know that was an intense one for some of us. Crossing at the ankles here. Interlace your fingers and roll it out. Roll it the other way. Slow it down. Land your hands down in front of you. Roll onto your knees and step back into an easy downward dog shape. So it's just a simple capital A in the body. There's a lot of details in down dog, but don't worry about making it perfect. Just use it to ground into your feet, into your hands, and lift your tailbone straight up through the sky and drop your head down. Slowly walk it forward into a forward fold. Now, I encourage you to use blocks, especially if you have more of a round spine. So the round spine, it just means that you're a little tight in the low back and perhaps in the hamstring. So creating some extension here, lifting the ground higher up to your hands is very helpful. And to get from this round spine to lengthening, it helps to bend the knees and stick the tailbone straight back. And now you get that nice length into the spine, which is really nice because then you can work into straightening into the legs here. And this could be your variation of forward fold. It doesn't have to be your body totally sandwiched in half. Part of the yoga practice here is figuring out the shape that works for you, coming as close as you can into a shape where you can feel the targeted stretch. So here you'd like to feel it in your hamstrings. So try it out. Bend your knees, lengthen the spine, and try to find that stretch on the back side of your legs. If you're able to take it down, lower the blocks down, drop the head down. If you can go all the way to the floor, great. But if your body starts to do this, you've gone too far, okay? So bend your knees more than you think. Land your hands down, drop the head down, and work into straighter legs over time. It takes time. But you want to find that contact belly to the thighs. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale and exhale. Okay, dig into your feet, get a nice sense of rooting into the ground, and slowly roll up into your spine. Slowly just wobble your arms around, give yourself a little tap. This is an actual technique of awakening the body, especially if you're feeling a little low energy. You can always do this movement any time of your day. What it's doing is stimulating the front of your body by just kind of doing that tap and the back side of the body. All right, come back, settle into space, land into your feet, stand tall, stand strong, open up your shoulder, and create the intention remind yourself of your intention that you began with at the beginning of this class, or beginning of this video. And if you just chimed in, just think of some type of an intention to set your day, something to inspire you, to elevate your practice. Okay, we're moving into a gentle flow. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up, palms pressed, look up. Hinge at the hips here, so bend your knees any amount, and you can use blocks here if you like. Drop the head down. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, tone your belly, create a nice flat back. Exhale, land into your hands, step back into top of the plank. I'm going to give some options here. You can drop the knees down, okay? Try not to find a hinge in your hips. It's a modified plank. You can find this variation. You can do like a 1-inch push-up where the elbows are moving back, shoulders open. You can come down halfway. You can keep the legs straight. You can come all the way down to the ground and slowly lift your chest up. If you're in full up dog, the thighs are hovering, your toes are super pointed, your belly's engaged, your legs are strong. If you can't maintain the relationship with the low half of the body, just keep your hips down, belly down, and go into a low cobra. Open up the shoulders and extend the spine here. Exhale, drop the chest forward. Tuck your toes, send your hips back towards your heels. Send your hips up, downward facing dog. Inhaling through the nose, full exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Lift up your heels, bend your knees, walk up to meet your hands. Inhale, lengthen into your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, palms pressed, or just look up. Exhale, arms down to your side. So this is actually called sun salutation. That was considered one full round. We're going to do 2 more together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up your chest, lengthen your spine. You can bend your knees. Land into your hands and step back into top of a plank. Option to bring knees down. Option just to do a little mini baby push-up. Otherwise, drift your chest forward. Bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, or keep it lowered cobra. Tuck your toes, send your hips back. Downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Lift up your heels, bend your knees. You can spring forward or just walk it forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway flat back. Exhale, drape yourself over, forward fold. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, palms press. Exhale, arms down to your side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. So it's kind of like a tricep push-up. Drift your chest forward, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Bend your knees a little bit to tilt the tailbone straight up. Push to your arms, make your arms strong. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Regulate the breath here. Inhale, exhale. Lift up your heels, bend your knees, walk up or hop up. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow it in, forward fold. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, palms press. Exhale, arms down to your side. Okay. So we're going to break off into a low lunge here. Inhale, reach your arms straight up, palms press. Exhale, hinge at the hips here, dive forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Now slowly from here, keep your hands down onto the ground, step back with your left foot. Now you may use just your fingertips to the ground, or you can use blocks, all right? Lower your left knee down to the ground, okay? Now, if you need to create extra cushion underneath your left knee, you can fold your mat, create it. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. So this is a low lunge. They call this Anjaneyasana. Strong legs here. Press down into your right heel. Pull your right heel, not literally, but isometrically, so you're dragging in place. The left knee is driving down and pulling towards your right heel. Send your hips slightly forward. Right hand catches your left arm and side bend to the right. So you're getting a nice stretch in front of the left hip flexors, and you're also adding a lateral side bend in the spine, which is really nice. Okay, slowly return back into the center, lower your hands down. Now take a look at your right foot, pivot to the right about 2 inches. 1, 2, actually 3, open up the toes, pointing slightly towards the right. Hinge forward and back, slowly, take your time. So nothing too fast, because that's how injuries occur, when you're just kind of checking out and just rushing things. So stay with your breath and move very intentionally. Okay, now we're going into what's called lizard pose. So you can take your arms down onto a block, the back knee can stay down, or you can lift it up, optional. Otherwise, hang out here. You can also take your arms down to the ground if it reaches. Your right knee is opening up slightly to the side, however, at the same time, it's also hugging into the side body. Use blocks or not, I'm gonna use it today. And squeeze into the inner thigh. So think about pushing down into your back knee, and if you're experiencing any pain in your back knee, you're gonna have to put a cushion underneath that knee. Keep it safe. Take one more full breath. Slowly use your hands to lift yourself up. Now, keep your left hand down. Option 1, bring your right hand to your right thigh and just look over your right shoulder. Pull your shoulders back and extend the spine and hang out here, breathe. On my way. That's my mom over there. Okay, and then slowly, if you can bend the back knee and reach back and catch the foot. Squeeze the heel in, or you can push your foot back into the hand. So there is a little bit of resistance play here to make the stretch a little bit more efficient. So open up the shoulders, find as much as you can. Okay, softly release the back foot, land down into your hands, lift up your hips, move around a little bit, and then slowly just step back into downward facing dog. And just notice the difference in the right and left side of the body. Okay, we're gonna take it to the other side. From here, we're just gonna step forward with the left foot. Okay, right knee comes down. Slowly inhale, reach your arms straight up. And then sink into the hips. Notice the front knee. Try to stack it over your heel. You don't want your heel too far stuck back. It's gonna feel a little bit funky, so you may need to bring your left foot a little bit forward. Sink down into the hips, but not dropping, okay? Your left hand catches your right forearm and side bend to your left. So it gets a nice stretch in front of your right hip flexors. Try to think about that tailbone angling down as you lift up into the front pubic bone. Nice lateral stretch here involved. And slowly returning back into the center, lower your hands down, wiggle into your hips forward and back. Okay, look at your left foot, heel toe to the left, about 3 inches, toes slightly at a little angle here. Lower your hands down into the center and go into a lizard pose. So you just drop your chest down. The hips are a little bit higher than your chest. If you can't go all the way down, that's fine. You can bring yourself onto your hands. This may be plenty for you, or you can bring your arms onto the blocks. You can scoot your right knee back to get a deeper stretch into the groin area. Just spend a little time, spend a little love, mindful breathing. If you're able to find some tiny actions here, some supportive actions, you can press down into your left heel. Try to find that relationship there. And then squeeze your back knee and your left heel towards each other. It's like you're hugging the ground with your knees and your foot. Okay, back off, release a little bit here. Lift your chest up. Option 1, hand to the left thigh. Shoulders open and just add a twist here. Look over your shoulder. And if you're able to have a nice reach for that back foot, if you have a strap or towel, you can try to use that as well. It's kind of tricky. So you got to stirrup the foot, or just reach back, try to grab the foot. And if you're able to grab it, if you're fighting for the grab, just let it go. Save it for another day. And then you can drag your right knee forward to get that stretch in front of the right quadriceps. Open up your shoulders and just breathe. Not sure the name of this pose, but I was told that it's called monkey's tail. Okay, and then release the back foot, take your time, lower your hands down, wiggle into your hips forward and back. And then slowly step back into a nice easy downward facing dog. You can definitely just hang out here. And if you're very comfortable into going into one more flow, is what they call it, you can try it out. So you can stay here, downward dog shape. You can even rest into child's pose, or you can slowly take yourself down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Softly bring yourself onto your hands and knees and point your toes this time. Crawl it forward a little bit here. So we're going to start to take it down a bit. Bring your hands behind you and see if you can find a stretch in front of the tops of your feet. So see if you can lift up your knees. If that's too much for you, maybe just being here with pointed toes is enough. So you can waver your knee up and down. And just kind of pause somewhere where it feels really nice and breathe steady. If you're able to add open chest, pull the shoulders back. Slowly walk your hands back, lower your knees down, step back, back to your hands and knees, shake out your feet. Great. Now cross at the ankles behind you, bring your hands and feet forward, bring your hands back, feet forward. Now we have this nice L shape in the body. This is just, to me, this pose that we're about to get into, which is a simple forward fold. But it's not simple. It's quite challenging, actually. I'm going to give you some tips, and the discipline here is meeting yourself in the resistance. Okay? It sounds counterintuitive to bend your knees, but you need to set your pelvis in the right spot. So if you have a rounding of the spine and you're reaching, you're just stretching into the low back. Nothing's happening to your legs, okay? So bend your knees a little bit. Tilt the tailbone back. They call this anterior tilt in the pelvis. And if you follow me, come to my classes, I teach this concept a lot, the tilt in the pelvis. So this is posterior tilt where the tailbone's rounding, tucking under. This is anterior tilt. So we need to be here. And then see how the belly, you created some slack by bending the knees. The belly can actually touch the thighs. Now you can actually stretch into the back side of your legs. You can hold onto the feet or to the ankles. Open up your shoulders and extend the spine. And one kind of crawl back with the hips I know this kind of tilts your pelvis asymmetrically, but just do it really slow. And this way you can create that length on the back side of your legs and also maintain that connection belly to the thighs. Drape yourself over any amount. You can use a strap over the feet, a towel. You can even use a block if you're super flexible. Flatten your feet, inhale, lengthen the spine, and then slowly drape yourself over. Breathe here for 7, 6, 5, 4. Try to relax your shoulders down, relax your jaw. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, slowly lift up your chest. Lower yourself down onto your spine. Rock into your hips side to side. Bend your knees into the chest and rock your spine side to side. Hold onto your right knee and extend your left leg down. Circulate your ankle, your right ankle. Bring it into a twist. Bring your right knee across the body to the left side. Reach out into a capital T with your right arm and shift your gaze over your shoulder. I like to use a block to meet underneath my knee here, bringing the ground up to my knee. It just feels nicer for me. It's a little more humbler. And you're on the outer edge. You got to keep going until you're on the outer edge of your left hip side. Then turn your gaze over to the right. Breathe deeply. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly return. Tuck your knees in. Give them a little hug. Hold on to your left knee. Switch sides. Before you switch, wind up at the left ankle, loosen up, and then slowly drop your knee to the right. Angle your left hip side down. Twist your torso so the left hand reaches out. You're looking over the left shoulder. And breathing very consciously here. Long, smooth breaths. Slowly returning back into center. Bend your knees. Press your elbows down into the ground. Give your hips a little lift. Just give them a little shake. Jiggle what you got. And then push your hips up high. And then slowly lower your hips down. Find the center of your mat. Now, I'm going to set you up in a luxurious savasana. If you have a pillow or a bolster, you can place it right in the center here. Sit in front of the edge. This is really great, especially if you've been on a computer, you're driving a lot. Well, we're not driving a lot probably right now, but if you're just on the phone, this kind of resets the spine and opens you up. It's a nice soft heart opener. Join your feet together. And I like to place the blocks on the outer parts of my hip, maybe just slightly lower, on the outer parts of your hips. Feet together. This is a long diamond shape. Be very generous here with the spacing. It's not heels to the groin. It's comfortably a little bit lower. And you let your knees drop open. The block catch your legs. And you got this nice soft heart opener. A gentle opening in the inner groin area. Just drape yourself over onto the bolster. You can use pillow, anything similar that you can create, any props that you can use to create this shape is okay. Just kind of improvise. And you definitely can use without blocks, but I feel like that's a little too stressful for the inner thighs, especially we're going into Shavasana, so you want to keep it very easy, comfortable, and have more of a passive opening in the inner thighs. pull the shoulders back and down, chin down the center, and start to close your eyes. If you have a blanket or something to cover your eyes or your face, go ahead and do it. And we just stay here for a few moments. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through your mouth. You can breathe naturally, or you can stay with my count. Exhale all the way out wherever you are in your breath cycle. Inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Open your mouth, soft jaw. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, nice and slow. Soft jaw, let it out. You should feel everything just kind of relaxing. You'll probably feel the heaviness of your body at this point, anchoring down into the earth. Allow yourself to let go. You are fully supported by the earth ground. Let all the resistance, let the change evolve in your body naturally. Feel free to stay here a little bit longer. Otherwise, start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Take a deep breath. Longer shavasanas are actually very ideal. If you could take a full 10 minutes, that would be amazing, but you might fall asleep. So have someone bring you back. And take your time. Stretch into your body. Roll into the side of your body, fetal position. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up to seat. Reaffirm into your body. Sit up tall. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Hopefully you were here from the very beginning with me. If you chimed in somewhere in the middle, I most likely will do this again, so please join in. Thank you for being here if you were here visiting me. If you were practicing, thank you for practicing. I hope this was helpful to you. Whatever is not needed, you don't have to necessarily dispose completely, but just maybe you can find a little bit more peace with yourself in this moment. And I hope that you can carry this feeling with you throughout the day. Share it with your friends. Share this beautiful energy that you've created. You created this sense of peace. And know that you are very much able to do this for yourselves. Thank you for your time. And let me know. Give me some feedback if this was helpful to you. If you missed the whole thing, I recorded it and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. So if you like this practice, you can replay it anytime you like. Namaste, peace be with you, love you so much, and I miss you.